What do we have in GS-1? History, geography, world history, post-independence history, then Indian society. What else? Art and culture. Correct. So I think that is all that we have in GS-1. So all these subjects are pretty vast in their nature. Yes. If you're studying history, you have to just start from the back to the post-independence part of it, the entire freedom movement. In geography, if you pick, there are different parts of it, landforms, and economic geography, so many parts. So this GS paper is going to be vast. It's going to take more time of yours. So I would suggest keep that in your head. You don't have some quick pointers like in GS3. You can just, keep on finishing topics fast. That's not happening in GS1. So be prepared for that when you start preparation for it. Other thing which I would like to say is, if you look at the paper of the previous year papers of GS1, you will find that there are a lot of repeated themes in the paper. There are a couple of topics, and this I have mentioned specifically in my book as well. There are certain topics and themes which come more or less every year. Now we know that the exam is going to be a bit unpredictable and we don't know what you're facing, but in mains, there is a lot that you can prepare for in advance. See, there is a theme called regionalism. If you look at the papers, you will have one question or the other on regionalism. They will try to connect regionalism with state formation, interstate relation, or something like that. So why not prepare a framework in advance of that topic, right? So we know that a question is coming out of it. So why not prepare a good definition? Why not prepare a good example? Why not look into the current affairs of what specifically happened this year about this particular subject? When you do that, you're creating your own framework of that topic. And then in the exam, if you face any question with regionalism, anything, you at least have a framework to start with. And that gives you immense confidence on that day. Correct? So my thing will be, please go on repeating, go on focusing on the themes which are repetitive in nature. And from current affairs, like we were trying to tell them.
When it comes to GS1, so if you take up GS1 question paper, if you observe, so what you should learn is to observe the previous year question papers. So many toppers say like you read previous year question papers, read previous year question papers. So you must be wondering what to read in previous year question. They are just questions. No, but you should also understand that there is a hidden way of asking questions in all the question papers. If you go through, you just have to observe that. So when it comes to GS1, so generally what they do is, so they take up some static topic and they link it with the current. So generally they will have two parts. First part, they will this applies to GS2 as well. So first part they will ask you to explain something related to static. So for example, post-independence history.
For example, recently we had this museum of the Prime Ministers, right? That was inaugurated in Delhi. Yes. Did you follow that current affairs? So what can be connected from the past? They can ask you the contributions of prime ministers over the years. Yes. So you are like picking up a theme from the static. You're like picking up a theme from the past, from the theoretical theoretical aspect of the post-independence history, and then you're trying to connect it with what is happening at the current moment. You getting the point?
For example, the question might come like this. Recently, a National Museum of Prime Minister has been inaugurated in Delhi. So what do you think, or what are the contributions made by the previous prime ministers in the economic development of the country as it is today? So this might be the question. So the current affairs is inauguration of PM Museum, but the topic is economic development and contributions of different PMs for this. So this is how they will link. This is how they will link the current affairs with the static part. So
and this you will find with all of UPSC questions.
Yeah.
There is this analytical part of it. You will find very less straightforward questions. Define X and give examples. Very rarely you will find such questions. Most of the questions will be interconnecting 2 or 3 main topics or themes of the entire syllabus. And mind you, nowadays, in GS1, they actually can ask about economic development, which you would think ye to GS3 ka topic hai, right? In our heads, we are categorizing it according to it. But there is a lot of interconnection that's happening. There's a lot of interconnection of the topics and arguments that they expect from you. And that's why such questions can be there.
For example, when it comes to geography, so recently there was Assam floods. They might take up topic from Assam floods, and they might ask, they might include the disaster management part also in GS1. It might happen. It can happen.
Or
So-
in GS1, you could have why the flood happens, how it happens, the geographical part of it, right?
Yeah. So that is how they will link. So they will link the static part, and they will take some current affairs. So then they will ask you to analyze the effects, or analyze something else. So it's all about analysis. It's all about how you think. So mains is all about how you think. It's not about how much you know.
So how do you prepare for such kind of a paper? When you are preparing a static part, and so that's why both your static and current should be sort of done simultaneously. All of us would ask, how many hours should I give for reading the newspaper? Yes? Sometimes I have a question. I spend a lot of time on reading the question on the newspaper. What should I do? See, newspaper editorial is important. Static is also important. You have to somehow manage, say, 1.5 hour for newspaper current of the day, and then you can move on to the major static part. But keep connecting in your head. If you have a question of, or if you have an editorial on floods, please go back to GS1, geography of floods. If you have a question of some volcano erupting in some Southeast Asian country, please go back to what volcanism is, how different landforms are formed, what is the scientific theory behind it, geographical theory behind it.
So what I have observed in her notes is, so she mentioned volcano. So what she would have written is volcano ka jo bhi geographical aspects. Then if there is something current happening, so I said her notes would have the both static part and also the current affairs part. So everything about volcano and disaster
Will be in one page.
would be in only in a single page. Or if there is some international conventions which has happened on any such topic, everything would be there in a single page. So here you would have covered geography, disaster management, at the same time some maybe international organization or international IR topic also.
Yes, yes.
So this is how you should make notes. In a single page, you should cover the whole topic holistically.
And that is definitely going to help you, right? We have another topic, Indian society. Can you tell me which is the basic theme from Indian society which is asked every year? Women empowerment, yes, one. Another one. Caste. Caste. Poverty will go to 2 and 3. GS1, caste, 100%. How caste is changing, how caste is impacting the society, how communalism is one. Regionalism, as I told you, is one. Caste is one. Women empowerment, 100 and 200% you're getting a question. You're getting a question in essay, you're getting it in GS1, you might getting in GS2. So these are themes that you should be preparing very seriously. Grab an article. If you find an editorial, just grab it, read it, just relish it. That, there are some important points that I can just use it from this. If you find an online article, some website, you're finding it, just go through it. So these are themes, your mental, whatever antenna should be alert. This topic is there. Let me just, properly read it for my own, and let me just note down some important topics.